Okay, this is Tim Flood with Rural Land Watch, and this is video number 2 in the Selling Your Land in Oklahoma series. And the second question that I get a lot of is, how should I prep my Oklahoma property to get the best price? So I'm going to tell you there's two parts to that, two things that you need to do. The first thing is going to be what you might consider administrative stuff. And I'm going to tell you that this abstract document, and I wish I had a hard copy of one, but they keep them locked up in file in the title and abstract office. That abstract is the most important thing. So again, an abstract is a legal document that just details every transaction in that property's history from statehood all the way through to current date. And so way back at the beginning of time, if John Smith owned 160 acres and then each successive generation kept cutting the square smaller and smaller and smaller, selling 20 here, or let's see, from 160 you'd sell 80, and then you'd sell 40, and then you'd sell 20, and then you'd sell at 210s, and etc., all the way down. So that abstract is going to keep track of your specific piece of land all the way from the beginning all the way to the end. And that has to be updated, and then an attorney has to review it to look for clouds or risks on that title. And there's really nothing to do with that process except to have a title company do it. So you can just look up any county, Johnston County, Oklahoma title. You'll find the local title and abstract company, and they can update it for you. So you can expect to spend $1,500 to get the abstract and the attorney's opinion. So maybe $900 to $1,000 for the abstract, and then $250, $300, $400, $500 for the attorney's opinion. And then if anything, quiet titles and all of that, if any of those kind of things come into play, if there's clouds, if there's anything that has to be resolved, all that can add to the cost of that. So that abstract is extremely important. The other thing that's extremely important from an administrative sense is the survey. And you really need to hire if it's not been done, a registered professional land surveyor, RPLS, and you need them to have them come out and verify acreage. And again, prices are going to vary on that depending on location and all kinds of things. That's going to be a little bit expensive. But the question was how to get the best price. And so I'm going to tell you that the way to get the best price is to make sure your abstract is updated, any title clouds are resolved, and that the property is surveyed. The second part of it is really just kind of common sense, and curb appeal for land exists as well as with a house. And so just curb appeal. So my model typically revolves around when I get a property ready to sell, I like to go up there and kind of clear an entrance and to kind of make it attractive. Now, this particular property I've shown you before, it's my 40-acre property in Pontotoc County, Oklahoma. It's a former home site and it's been unloved for many years. And so you can see in the background there how overgrown it is. So it's quite thickly wooded. But I have to make sure that people know when they come to one of my properties where it is and so forth. And so you can see here, I go up there to a property for a day and take my tools. You can see my chainsaw, weed eater. I've got some different hand tools. And I like survey flagging. So I go up to what I did on this property. I wanted to draw attention to this electric pole here. I put my sign on it so that people know that it's my property and that my number's there. And then I created just a little entrance. Again, this property was so overgrown that I had to just take this chainsaw and just clear some brush out of the way and give people an entrance. I took a rake and shovel and kind of smoothed out this dirt road and all, just so it just kind of looks nice as all. So I could have done a lot more with mulching and different stuff, but I didn't really want to spend the money on that. So one day of work with a chainsaw and a weed eater and a rake and shovel, and I got it looking pretty decent where you could enter the property. Let me show you another one. I did something similar. This is my 80-acre in Pontotoc County, Oklahoma. So again, I went up there with my chainsaw, and I should have taken a before picture because even though the gate was here and the road was here, all of this cedar tree over here and all of this cedar tree over here was all overgrown. It was all hanging over and just made it look clouded and kind of dark and crowded in. And so I just took my chainsaw and cleared all these up and then put my signs on there just so it's clearly identified which is my property. So just a little bit of chainsaw work. You know, there are lots and lots of companies that will let me leave that picture up. There are lots and lots of companies that you can hire skid steer, and they've got mulching attachments and backhoes and all that. And you can do that. I mean, you can see even this 80 acre back beyond the road here. This is pretty thickly wooded, you know. So if you really want it to shine the best, you could hire a bunch of dozers and turn this all into pasture. But you know, that's pretty expensive, right? So that may not be worth the money. So this was one day of chainsaw work and some plywood signs I spent a little money on, and it looks lovely. So that's kind of the two things I do to prep my properties. Make sure the administrative stuff is all in order on the front end, and then just curb appeal. Take a chainsaw, make sure it's cleared up and easy to see and looks real good. So hope this helps. Thanks for your time.